Alright, hopefully you guys can see me, since this should be working. I hope. There we go. How's everyone doing? How's it going, Lego Maker? So yes, half the screen is blank. I will be having Private Severson on, however, he is currently working right now, so he should be here about 5:15. So, well, he'll be on at 5:15, since we live across the state from each other. Yeah, I saw that with the talking about generals and all that. Hey, Turnin. So, how's everyone's day been so far? For those of you on the East Coast, your early evening. Helps if I can speak. Nice! Lego Star Wars are the best. I used to have a ton of Legos growing up. I think my little sister has it now, so, or has them, all sets. How was marching band for you? Hopefully you did well. It's always a plus. Day off. So was just waiting to get all this going for you guys. So pretty unproductive day besides doing a live stream for you guys. Oh, your dog chewed up your accoutrement set? That's really unfortunate. I think that's the first time I've ever heard that. Alright. You know, I guess leathers make a good good chew toy, I guess. Lego Maker, unfortunately, I haven't really had a chance to go out and record any battles like that. Mostly just because anything looks a little too farby, and we do a lot of running around. So, you know, do it from a phone, anything like that, I'm afraid of something falling off. Oh, and Dean, don't worry about it. Feel free to email those to me whenever you get the chance. I get it, you know, life happens, so it's all good. Oh yeah, Missouri Boot Shoe is a good choice for leather. So is LD Hanning. Really recommend his stuff too. But my officer boots are Missouri Boot Shoe. I know we have someone with Missouri Boot Shoe Brogans, and they're fantastic. So you can't go wrong with them. I could do a GoPro during battles. Problem is, though, you know, where would I put it? I don't want to have that, you know, chest harness with a little GoPro here. Just because, again, it's just one of those things I don't want to have FARB on me during battles. You know, we strive in Company D to be fairly FARB-free. You know, outer appearance besides, you know, like the amenities of like First Sergeant Kep's cot, stuff like that. So it's just one of those things, but I can try and figure something out, I'm sure. So we'll see. Yes, Indy, that ammunition box is fantastic looking. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to see it in person yet, but I really hope to see that in person because just from the video, it's very nice. And First Sergeant Kep does amazing work. So I'm sure the video doesn't do the box justice unless you actually see it in person. Yeah, again, even if it's on top of a hat, you know, you have this thing bouncing around on top. I don't know. Like I said, I'll try and find a way around it at some point. We'll see, but no guarantees. So is it starting to feel like fall for anyone else, or is it just here in Eastern Washington? Because it's really starting to feel like fall out, you know, flannels, boots, stuff like that, so it's starting to feel nice. I'll definitely look into that, Lego Maker. Is it on your YouTube? If it is, I'll definitely give it a look after the live stream here. I have seen people use drones, not reenactors, but actual like photographers, videographers like that at some of our events here in Washington, and it's always just super annoying when you know you're having a really good skirmish line and you know battle actually feels like it's going well and you just hear bzzz, you look above you and 50 feet there's a drone, you know, just flying around it. Yeah, let's not make it going on a rant or anything with that because it's fun. Hot and rainy, 85 in Maryland. Yes, not surprised with kind of the back east with your guys' heat and humidity and all that. I think right now in our area it's, yeah, it's 66 degrees out and sunny. Everything's starting to, like I said, feel like fall. Everything's starting to change color and the like that. So I guess let me turn my ringer volume off. My phone. Yeah. Yep, drones are not fun. They are a royal pain. Especially, I love that one video of, I think it was like a Viking reenactment, something like that. And that one Viking actually, reenactor threw his spear and actually knocked the drone out of the sky. That's awesome. I want to see someone do that with a cannon or, uh, you know, enough concentrated musket volley, bring it down. That'd be pretty cool. Yep, Turnin is our company kind of photographer. So she's always trying to think of ways on how to get really good pictures for us at events, on and off the battlefield. And it's kind of the downside with the battlefield is, you know, modern cameras and GoPros are just too, well, modern. Oh, very nice. Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of happy that it's starting to kind of turn fall because we had not a terrible fire season here in Washington, but it was fairly smoky where I live. Normal visibility day from where I live, you know, I can see for a good 10 miles, and some days visibility was down to 2 miles, maybe a mile and a half, so it was not the best. Then we actually reached the hazardous weather, or hazardous air for everyone, so I'm ready for fall. Also means, you know, deer season, grouse hunting, stuff like that, so get to spend some days up in the mountains, which will be a lot of fun. A lot of people hate farbiness, so I'm glad you're one of them. Oh yeah, not a problem on the gum blankets. Those are a real interesting little tidbit. Uh, and a piece of gear that's very overlooked and done wrong many times by kind of your mainstream settlers. So happy I could have helped. 3, maybe 4, 5, if I can swing some guys in favor of it that are here in my area, in Eastern Washington. So I'll let you kind of know a little more, Dean. So 5 at max. Yes, Mackenzie, I did. I believe it's School Kill. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So, you know, it is one of those weird words, you know, shoe kill, skookle. I think skookle's one of my favorites because it sounds like some areas here in Washington called skookum. In fact, it's my 8-year-old little sister's nickname is Skookum, so go figure. But yes, I believe you telling me properly. The gum blanket scenario, it's just more of the proper gum blankets, how they're properly constructed, which ones you want to go for, either painted or unpainted, things like that. A lot of your very common sutlers actually provide very poor reproductions. They don't really hold up very well. They attract a lot of moisture, and it kind of bubbles the tarring or the rubbering on them, and they just fall apart way too easily. I had myself, First Sergeant Kep, and Corporal Hardway actually have Claude Sinclair gum blankets or painted ground claws, and those are absolutely fantastic. Yep, rubber is nice. It's just there's not many people doing the proper rubber, unfortunately. I personally just like the painted a little more. Maybe it's just the texture because you actually have the cotton drill underneath. Phantom of the Opera, yes, my family is very big into Phantom of the Opera. Corporal Hardway absolutely loves Phantom of the Opera, so um, especially that dog whistle note for one of the main songs. I'm not very familiar with Phantom of the Opera, so I'm not much help there. No, I haven't been able to watch the North and South yet. I was haven't been able to work things up with Mr. Melendez on getting together and having a few drinks and crying tears while watching North and South. And Jamie, yeah, definitely modern gum blankets. I prefer the painted tar cloths, stuff like that. Just the rubber. I don't know. I've had 3 of them, and they didn't last me more than maybe 2 seasons. And I wasn't even terribly rough with them either. So, just one of those unfortunate things. But definitely stay away from ponchos. That I can go on for a while. And Severson should be joining us here very shortly. Who made our regimental colors? Indy, a man named Zach Brewer. He doesn't actually make them on a regular basis. He kind of does it more when he just has time. Usually when he has one completed before the regiment is painted on, he'll kind of make a post, hey, you know, this is what I have, this is what we're doing. Let's, you know, get some people interested in buying this. So I was very fortunate enough to get on a run that he was doing for 1 or 2 of them. I've actually had one of the Fall Creek gum blankets, Jamie. I personally wasn't a fan. You know, I could have gotten a bad one. That's always a possibility. You know, I'm not one of those people who, you know, bashes something right off the bat if it doesn't work or if it's low quality. Sometimes, you know, you just get a bad one. So, Cade, yes, there was. Company C of the 2nd U.S. Sharpshooters was from Pennsylvania, and from various other companies too. There was men from Pennsylvania, even if that company wasn't specifically raised in Pennsylvania. We'll see. We'll see about North and South. Bull Run, I made it a little bit past Bull Run, and it was alright. Yeah, Jamie, not a problem. Happy to help. Very happy to help. Get my slippers off, it's not terribly cold. I think there's like a slight delay from getting your guys' messages, so if I'm kind of sitting here just, I apologize ahead of time. Yes, I have dealt with Mill Creek Mercantile. Teresa is the lady's name who runs the company, or the business. She's actually down in Oregon, not California. And when we used to reenact readily down in Oregon, she would be at those events. She's a very nice person. Her Berdan uniforms, she's definitely on the upper end of the mainstream side. Her Berdan uniforms for entry level, the green is very nice. So that's usually where I send my new guys who can't really afford, you know, a Hainsworth, you know, very expensive frock that's, you know, going to be $450 for, I think, $160. You can get a fairly decent colored frock for that much. Yep, Dean, 71st PA. Alexander, not much. Just doing a live stream, man. There might have been some sharpshooters with a hard E hat. It was heavily modified, if anything. Cool, Mackenzie. I'm glad I can pronounce it right in two ways, I guess. So thank you very much for kind of coaching me along. It's, you know, one of those things where, you know, every region, every city, you know, has its own way of saying things. So, you know, I'm sure people from back east came out here to Washington State and they see, you know, Puyallup or Tillicum, Chehalis, you know, stuff like that, Wacom, you know, Snohomish, stuff like that. You know, we have a lot of very native names out here, so. My pistol that I use, Alexander, is a Colt M1861 Navy, so it looks like the 44 caliber Army, but it's actually in 36 caliber. Unfortunately, though, it's all packed up with all my stuff in the other room and buried, so. Dean, I have not gone through CNC before. However, I do understand that they're actually kind of on the lower end of mainstream. I've heard their stuff falls apart fairly quickly, and it's typically not period correct. For the East Coast, there is a trip being planned right now for April with First Sergeant Kep and I, kind of in the New England area. I will say that much so far. Yeah. From what Civil War Uniform and Equipment said, yeah, their knapsacks are fairly terrifying in quality. If we were allowed to actually metal detect on Civil War battlefields, yeah, that would be really interesting to do. However, I would actually be more interested in where they were camped. You know, these garbage dumps and garbage pits really would be a lot more interesting, just mainly because I like the aspect of day-to-day life for soldiers. Hey, Jared's on. Yeah, I expect my bank account to be hating me after our little trip. So, you know, that's what trips are for, though. You gotta spend money. Yeah, the 1860 Army isn't bad. I just like the Navy just because smaller caliber, and it's mostly, oddly enough, what a lot of infantry officers would have carried is the 36, but the Navy actually favored the 44s more, even though they were intended for either differences. But the reasons why the Navy was calibrated for 36 and the Army was 44, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe more knockdown power for 44 if you're shooting a horse, something like that. I know, you know, the Dragoons and the Colt Walkers were known as horse pistols, so that could be why. Lego Maker, yeah, some of us have had our scrapes and injuries. You know, burns is a fairly common one from grabbing a hot rifle barrel. Some banged up knees, some cuts and scrapes, stuff like that. There's actually one event here in Washington where it's actually tradition in our company to find the post holes in the ground and our foot just magically fall into them. That's happened to me once last year. I don't think it happened to me this season, luckily. But yeah, I mean, it's a physical hobby. It's gonna happen at some point. Yep, and First Sergeant Kep is right. The Army and Navy really could choose whatever kind of arms they wanted. Some of the first Spencer rifles um, actually went to the Navy. The 11th Ohio Volunteer Cavalry, in their most recent video about the Spencer rifle and carbine, actually kind of touched on that a little bit. The Sharps company did send rifles to the Navy. There was just a myriad of rifles and carbines and pistols going to the Navy and the Army throughout the war. I know there's quite a few people that can reenact Lincoln. I've seen more people do it very poorly than I have properly. However, you know, all we have really of Lincoln is pictures and descriptions and stuff like that. You know, it'd be interesting, you know, if videos back then were a thing, so we could actually see his mannerisms, you know, how he spoke. That'd be very interesting. But yeah, people can definitely reenact Lincoln. I would have to see Mr. Bus in action. That'd be really cool to see. Yeah, we had a Lincoln here in Washington State. Fortunately, a year or two ago, he unfortunately passed away. So it's always a huge hit, and he was good. He was a very good Lincoln. Knew his stuff. Actually, even knew sharpshooter history. So that was very impressive. Thank you for the text, Jared. Yeah, yeah. In case people are wondering, yes, the video is a lot better. I actually built a PC since in the last 2 weeks, so better camera, better audio, processor, stuff like that. So videos off the flapjack are no more. That was my laptop. So yes, Alexander. Lincoln loved shooting. In fact, he tested rifles out on the south lawn of the White House. Imagine that. Try doing that today. See what happens, even if you're the president. Dean, I'm not sure if I know of anyone who actually does a Jefferson Davis impression. That'd actually be fairly interesting, especially back east. I think there might be some. I just haven't really heard much about it. Yep, and First Sergeant Kep is right. He did actually go to the sharpshooter camp so often that the sharpshooters didn't really see it as a big deal much after that. It's like, oh, hey, the president's coming back again. All right, cool kind of mentality as, you know, some other units, you know, oh, the president's coming by, you know, polish your brass, clean your uniforms, black all your leathers, you know, full dress. And the sharpshooters are just, yeah, you know, feel free to come shoot with us on the rifle range. So, excuse me a sec. So for Civil War uniform and equipment, I like both. Granted, I just like guns, so go figure. But if I have to pick a Springfield, either the 1855 or the 1863 models. Those two are my favorite. Stormy, yes, I have been to Gettysburg, Chancellorsville, Spotsylvania, Antietam. Basically, most of the big battles on the East Coast. I do want to see the Western Theater ones. I do want to get more to the 7 Days ones eventually, and the ones down in the South as well. Jamie, inexpensive shoes is probably not the best question for me. For me, you know, your feet are just like, you know, the wheels on your vehicle. You know, you can get really cheap or really cheap tires, but they'll wear out quickly, and then you'll just be stuck paying more money. Um, Honestly, my biggest suggestion to you is just bite the bullet, spend the good money for some really good quality footwear, and believe me, your feet will thank you. I've worn very poor quality Brogans for a year or two and absolutely hated them. Then I upgraded and upgraded from there and from there, and now that I have my Missouri Boot and Shoe officer's boots, I can never go back to anything less than $150 for footwear. It really does matter that much to you. And like I said, your feet will thank you immensely. For CS Navy, I would use Enfields for putting me up. The Sharps were very seldomly used in the Confederate Navy, if I remember reading right. If anything, they would have been captured, things like that. But captured Sharps rifles would have been more for Confederate infantry. There was a lot more Sharps rifles in the Army of the Potomac and, well, the Union Army in general. Dean, I actually know someone who is selling an Enfield, Private White, who is coming into our company. He's selling an Enfield, so I can try and put you into contact with him if you'd like. And yes, the 556 Antietam was 3 days ago, which is crazy to think about. Alexander, yes, he did command the sharpshooters in person on the field. However, there's many accounts of him, you know, retreating to the rear to secure, you know, fresh beef for the soldiers or to rally stragglers, things like that. I believe he was present at Gettysburg with the first U.S., so he was there. However, he was still kind of a coward. Who or what inspired me to do reenacting? I've grown up around history, so reenacting was just one of those things that when I found out was actually a thing and people could join, I was all about it. Berdan, for a very brief time, did command a brigade. However, he actually was not a full brigadier general, even though he actually had boards made for him with green backing. He was actually trying very hard to get a 3rd U.S. sharpshooter regiment started so he could lead a brigade of sharpshooters, but that never came to fruition. Dean, I will see what I can do for you, man. Yeah, Jared's right. I don't think Sakalo's making them right now, and I think when he was, they were like $130, something like that. There might be some places that are still selling them. However, not entirely sure. For me, Missouri Boot and Shoe would be your best bet for really good quality footwear. it's just one of those things. You don't want to skimp on your footwear because then you're hobbled for, you know, possibly the next week doing your job, school, stuff like that. I've been through it. Trust me, it's not fun. Alright, and private servicing should be off about now, so he'll be on in about 15 minutes, so we'll get his goofy face on. With A-tents, we do have A-tent users. I'm actually selling my wall tent for an A-tent. I just prefer the quicker and easier setup. And other than period correct sleeping, like with cots and all that, First Sergeant Kep actually put out a really good video on what's inside of his tent, and he actually has a fairly modern cot, so you know, take it easy on him for, you know, having a modern cot and stuff like that. You know, not everyone can sleep on the ground and feel normal for the next week. There's sometimes where, hell, I even feel like that. So, but for me, I more encourage dog tents. Nothing, you know, makes me just drool and cry tears of joy seeing an entire company street full of dog tents. It's the coolest thing. No tents? Yeah, by all means. At our training event this past April, I actually did one of those lean-to kind of shelter halves, so really I didn't have much of a tent. I just had more of a sunshade. And so yeah, from there, no tent, no problem. I don't mind it. I've slept many times under the stars. Unless it's winter, then yeah, a tent kind of helps. Trap in some heat to an extent. Yep, for Sergeant Kep's right, we actually did a little bivouac back in early August, and yeah, no tents, slept next to a creek, fought off mosquitoes, yellow jackets, and hornets during the day while we were trying to eat. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, Berdan was a person who wanted to rank for himself. He wasn't a true military leader. He was an inventor. So it's just one of those things. None of the U.S. sharpshooters were at Chickamauga, unfortunately. The 1st and 2nd Regiment was strictly AOP, or Army of Potomac. Yeah, so from what First Sergeant Kep is talking about, my favorite setup now for a tent was I was actually using Corporal Hardway's A-tent. Due to a wedding, couldn't be at the event, so I used that one, and had my cot, my desk, and my table with my chair in there, and it looked fantastic, and still had enough room to actually, you know, move around, get dressed, stuff like that. It looked absolutely amazing. I'll definitely be getting pictures of that, probably do a video on it for what's in an officer's A-tent. I did the one for the wall tent, so we can always switch it up. And Trevor, great coats, yeah. I love mine. I have an officer's cloak coat, so I really spent the big bucks on that one. I'll probably be getting an enlisted men's one for, you know, mid to late war kind of events to blend in more with the soldiers. We don't really have that many cold weather events here in Washington, but if you ever have a chance to pick up a really good quality gray coat, definitely do it. You wouldn't be hurting too bad in that aspect. Plus, if you don't have a good blanket, you have a great coat. And my big joke, I guess it's the start of the dad jokes, is, you know, a great coat makes a great blanket. It's like, ha, knee slapper. 6 guards. There's currently, if all of us showed up at an event, there'd be about 15 or 16, which would be amazing to see on the field. Wait, yes, we've actually been talking about doing a private tent video, dog tent, A tent, stuff like that, so they're coming. Dean, how big is the 71st? Because then I can kind of gauge what a big unit is for you. Alexander, so how would you be? Care to clear up on that a little bit more for me? Oh, that's right. I forgot you telling me about that. Unfortunately, most of our companies are relatively small, so about 20, 25 max at a really, well, at a good event. We have some that can get up to 30, stuff like that, but it's just one of those things where the average company size here in Washington is 10, 12, maybe 14. First Sergeant Kep would probably agree with me on that. Okay, yeah. Alright, Jared, you're so cool with your rubber pencil. And your original needles. Yeah, actually, Private Turnin has a really good tent setup. Actually need to start showing people more that are new coming into the company, like, this is how your tent should look. Severson. But, you know, teenage boy, you can't really expect them to be super meticulous with keeping things clean, so I just got to give the kid a hard time. I can't wait to get him on. He's a lot of fun to talk with. It's kind of our company goober, but we love our company goober, so. So basically, to become an officer, especially a high-ranking officer, like a colonel, you just have to have the money to raise a regiment, get everything approved through the War Department, your state governor, things like that. So you could either have the money, or you could have gone to West Point, or you're currently in the Army as that rank. And Alexander, no problem. Yeah, there's actually many officers that had no military training. Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain, for one. You know, he was a professor at Bowdoin College, and he made it all the way up to Major General. And, you know, he did fine as a military, in a brief military career. So that's always a prime example to give someone that people know. We have in the past. I'd really like to have a pre-season get-together of the sharpshooters so that we can drill, get rifle drill down, shooting, maneuvers, stuff like that, and also just have a good time. So it's actually a really good question, Indy. We do have a company or a battalion-wide, club-wide kind of school the soldier. However, it's more kind of almost just dinking around anymore. If I'm doing a school the soldier, I want to drill. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah, and we do drill almost every day at our events. In fact, we've drilled from 8 in the morning clear up to the first battle of the day, which is at 10. In fact, we went from the drill field onto the battlefield. That was kind of funny. Why don't I like ponchos, Trevor? Because one, they are actually a cavalry issue item, and when you think about it, if you have a heavy downpour, you have that neck slit. Well, the neck slit doesn't conform to your neck; it's just a line, so you kind of have a varying gap that water can get into. Um, Especially here in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, Seattle is known for its rain. Granted, I live in Eastern Washington, so we're kind of a more high desert. Um, so we don't get as much rain over here, but definitely on the west side of the state we do. It's a rainforest, essentially. I would love to do a winter event, Jamie, especially if we could get the land to build some winter quarters, some little log cabins, stuff like that. That'd be really fun to do. I'm sure First Sergeant Kip might be on board with that at some point down the road if we can make that kind of thing happen. And Dean, yeah, I mean, we're probably one of those funny, annoying units. One of our other favorite units that we love to play with at events in our battalion is the 79th New York Infantry, the Highlanders, Company D. Lieutenant McKnight has a great set of guys. I absolutely love his unit. They're a lot of fun to play with. They have bagpipers at night, so they annoy the hell out of everyone in camp. And I love bagpipes, so it doesn't annoy me any. And most of them are brothers, so they're fellow Masons, like First Sergeant Kep, Private Soderling, and I. And they know their Scotch. I will admit I do love my Scotch, so anytime they're at an event, I'm more than happy to have them around for many reasons. It's actually a really good question, Dean. Thank you. Everyone in our unit, Lego Maker. First Sergeant Kep and I, it's when he and I are at an event, it's like a third personality comes out. Pretty much read each other's thoughts. We've talked about at some of our little private events, doing a squad on squad with he and I leading, and it would just be a complete gaggle because it'd be, okay, well, First Sergeant thinks I'm going to be doing this, but I'm going to do this instead, but he knows that I'd be doing this instead because he thinks I'm doing this, and it just turns into this whole ball of he knows that I know that 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 he knows kind of thing. So I kind of hurt my head putting all that together, and I didn't even trip up. But yeah, Private Severson, one of the guys that's going to be on here in just a couple minutes. Love that kid. He's definitely one of our goofballs. Everyone kind of brings something different to the table, humor-wise, in our company. That's why I think we do so well in attracting people is we have so many personalities that everyone can kind of associate with. Oh yeah, the 69th with Blah. Alexander, unfortunately, I don't really play many video games. I think the most I play is like The Forest, Empire Total War with my my roommates and some of my really good friends. Actually, one of my best friends from here in town, who's currently stationed in San Diego. We play Rainbow Six Siege a lot, so I don't really play many Civil War games. See, and that's the funny thing, like Six Guard points out, is the younger units love drill. You think, oh, young kids are going to be lazy, they're not going to want to put in the hard work. It's like, no, like younger kids want to do well. That's why I think, the hobby's not dying, it's transitioning more to the progressive, authentic side. Is, the old guard, these older folks are starting to get out where, oh, I drilled last month, we're fine for this battle or this event. They look like absolute garbage with their drill. But yeah, like you pointed out, younger kids seem to like drill. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of a drill whore too, so. Indy, that's awesome. I'd love to see pictures of that. That'd be really cool, especially kind of for some First Sergeant kept beating me to it. I'd love some inspiration to see what we might be able to work with one of these times. Yes, I've actually seen Ultimate Civil War General from one of the channels I'm subscribed to. He's played it quite a few times, and I think it's hilarious because he's an Englishman living in Norway, and some of the words of like Chickamauga, Chattanooga, and stuff like that, he completely butchers. It's hilarious. So yeah, I'll definitely look into that one. Wade, that's actually not a sensitive question at all. It's history. You know, some parts of history are ugly, some are great, some are just blah. But honestly, I think it was a multitude of things why the South left. Slavery was a part of it, yes, but not the cause. States' right. But honestly, I also feel it was a social divide. You had the industrial North. Yes, the North did have its uh, agricultural side, its rural side with the Western states, stuff like that. But the South's mentality was far different than the North's. The South was more independent uh, by each state. They had their own way of thinking. So I think there was just a lot of factors, and social uh, differences was a huge part of that. Yeah, uh, definitely the documentaries, the research, and visiting the battlefields is a huge one. Movies, yeah, they're great to watch. You know, yes, Gettysburg and Gods and Generals and Glory definitely have their farb in it. I'll be the first to admit they're still great movies. I definitely don't suggest looking at reenactors pictures or movies though for historical uh, information, just because it's Hollywood. Hollywood gets things wrong fairly often. You know, I don't think I've ever seen in real life a Thompson submachine gun blow through 100 rounds before reloading. Just one of those kind of things. But definitely you hit the nail on the head with lots of research, the documentaries, and the battlefields. Lego Maker. Yeah, Jamie, you're right. It's one half of the United States fighting against the other half of the United States. Yes, they were Confederates. They were Confederate soldiers, but they were still Americans. They were still part of the United States of America. That's why I don't talk too too poorly about the Confederate soldiers, because they were American soldiers, and I have to respect that. It seems like that mainly just because there was a lot of politicians in the North that were wanting to end slavery. And they feared that Lincoln was one of them. Yet Lincoln even said, if I don't have to free a slave to keep this country together, I would. I'm sure I'm ad-libbing that right now. I don't have the direct quote, but it was one of the main reasons. I would say yes, but it wasn't the main reason. Alexander, the worst farb I have ever seen. Um, wow. I've seen Dismounted Cav do just pistol charges where they're just literally dropping pistols and pulling them out of nowhere. That was actually no joke. From our Civil War farb video with First Sergeant Kep and I, is I've seen that happen, and it is sad. I've also seen, uh, guys wearing blue jeans and like a jean jacket, like 1970 style jean jacket that was dyed dark blue. I've seen that happen before too. I'd actually have to think on the worst, absolute worst farb I've ever seen, but I probably have actually blanked that from my memory. Dean, with foreign troops in the Civil War, uh, yes, the South was trying very hard to get England and France on their side. Um, if that would have happened, I think it definitely would have been more of a game changer. You would have had two very professional armies fighting against a somewhat professional army and mostly volunteer, that being the northern side. And, it would have been something really different. Um, I'm glad it didn't come to that. So I really can't say I feel strongly either way. So, and First Minnesota Sharpshooters, how's it going? Yeah, Jamie, that is actually a fairly good point. That is a very good point. Yeah, and I mean, not all dismounted cav are bad. It's just the vast majority because they think it's, outlaw Josie Wales or cowboys and Indians. So, all right, I'm gonna get Private Severson up on here real quick. So just 1 second. Of course, this is going to be a little bit of a fun bit. So I might have to close my camera off for just a second. Hopefully you guys can still hear me while doing this. I just got to get the video call going, which is always so much fun. We played around with this last night, so. Da, da, da. Alright, so let's wait for him to call me and see if we can get this working again. Alright, there he is. Okay, so just 1 second. I'm going to have to switch some settings around real quick, but I'll still be on, so fear not, you guys. Alright, and we got him calling, so it's always fun trying to get technology figured out. Let's see here. Alright, still trying to get this to work, so just be patient, guys. Amen. Not much. So get you transferred over to this. Ah, wrong one. Okay. Let's get you removed here. Okay. So please stand by here, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, so we're just having a little bit of technical issues. This is being rather difficult. Ah, everything's falling apart. Yeah, we had this working last night for you guys, and now it's all just freaking out on us. Okay. Oh yeah, so I see that. Okay, so we got you in. We will see here in just a sec. And I'm terribly sorry about this, everyone. Yeah, this is all... Oh, there we go. Facebook call. Alright, let's shrink your goofy face in a little bit. Alright, so I think this is the best we can get it going right now. So everyone say hello to Private Severson. Hopefully you guys can hear him in the call, I hope. Here, let's do a quick little test on this. Yeah, so I don't think... Okay, so we can't hear Severson. So let's try and set you up. Yeah, so I can hear him in the call, everyone, so... Let's see here. Oh, the joys of getting this figured out midstream. Okay, so let's try this, everyone, and see if we can get this to work. So if there's a bunch of echo, I deeply apologize. Okay, so let's try Severson. And it's still being a butt. Oh, isn't this fun? Huh. Well, this is interesting. I guess if anything, you can type your response into the chat if you want. Okay. So, anyways, unfortunately, we have no sound from Severson. So, next live stream we'll figure something out so we can have him in. Yeah, as he just said, we're working out the kinks as we go. So. This is quite a bit of fun. So anyone, feel free to ask Severson some questions as well. He'll get back to you as quickly as he can type. So... Okay, so you guys can hear him through the headset. Is it sounding okay through the headset, or... Because if so, I can just put this around my neck and pull my mic through between my my speakers. Hang on just a sec. Oh, hold on. Might have gotten this fixed.
Ooh. Did you?
Okay. Can everyone hear him now?
Hello? Hello. Calling out to all reenactors and people of history. Sweet. So to answer the first question, you saw the making of my ammo box, as well as what I used to stuff inside it. It's really drastically changed as I've gotten more boxes. How do I like being under Ethan's command? I mean, it's not the worst, but nah, I'm kidding.
No, man, you can be honored.
It's really great being under Ethan's command. He's a great leader. I would follow him into hell and back. In real life, or reenacting wise, he definitely treats us like a family, and it's grown family in the unit, I'd say.
Sounds like he's in the bottom of a well.
Yes, I did have a bunch of candy in my box. And I have done Soviet with Turnin. Yes, I actually used to play a lot more Napoleonic Wars. I'm not doing it as much as I used to be. Hey Ethan, I can't hear you through call now.
Oh, you can't?
Wait, no, I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
Yeah, I just switched it from my headset to.
Okay, it's a little quiet. Is all.
Oh. Yeah, I'm trying to mess with some settings to make sure that there isn't much echo, but until we can get this actually properly worked out. Hopefully the echo isn't too annoying, everyone. I hope. Forgive me if it is. We're still new. Still learning.
Try putting my headphones on again. Like I said, the audio jack on this thing is kind of broken, so gotta be very careful with it. Want to say something, Captain?
Nah, man, it's your show for now, man. Go for it.
Let me try with a different video.
But
hold on. Figuring things out here.
Okay. See if we can try and work this out this way for you guys. So, and I'll try not to burp or clear my throat too much since my mic's going to be right here. So let's not have that embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to use it.
It's a little messed up with this audio jack.
Okay. So again.
I think I can hear you better now. Like Ethan, I was very much a history nerd. Still am. And in 5th grade, I used to live in Michigan. I now live in that small town Ethan lives in, Bellingham. Sorry, just got off work. And I, when I was living in Michigan, I did a history project on, I can't remember the designation of it right now, but the Michigan unit that served within the Iron Brigade.
24th Michigan.
Yeah, 24th Michigan. And got me into the Civil War a little more than I was. I was mainly a World War II buff. And in 8th grade, skipping forward a couple of years, I was really interested in joining reenacting. As you know, you see it in television and everything. It's like, oh, that guy went Civil War reenacting, and it's like, ooh, that sounds pretty interesting. I want to try that. So, looked up the WCWA, the organization we reenact in, and I started just going down Union, going down Confederate, looking at websites if they had them, contacting unit commanders if I thought the unit would be interesting. I did start looking first at the 2 Michigan units that we have in the WCWA, you know, because I'm a little bit of a bias.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So then I looked at the sharpshooters when I was first looking through. I was like, sharpshooters? I'll keep that in mind, but for now, I just want to focus on some other things. So kept messaging or emailing rather, and calling unit commanders, just getting more information, finding out what it was all like. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call this Ethan guy, see what the sharpshooters are about. So I called him, didn't pick up, and it's like, it's probably busy. Later, I got a call from Jared, as I called him too. And from there, I just dived head in. That was the summer before my 9th grade, and I'm a senior now, so.
And we've been regretting that decision ever since.
You love me, you know, Captain.
Yeah, as I was telling the chat earlier, one of the questions came up, you know, do we have any, like, funny people in the units? Like, oh yeah, we got Severson, he's our group derp, but we love him.
I mean, there are plenty of memes of me out there, so.
Yeah, he's the most memeable sharpshooter that we have, so he's a lot of fun to keep around.
I've just always been a goofy guy. I'm pretty clumsy, so it just, you know, it works out. Oh, sweet. It's nice to see another senior out here. And someone that started in the 9th grade. It's always nice to see someone kind of around my age. So let's see here.
The age requirements for firing in our unit is for
It's
the
14
Washington
to
Civil War
go.
Association is 12 to be on the battlefield as a non-combatant, and then 14 to be carrying a rifle. And do we all live nearby each other? Here in Spokane, I have Private Cook, Corporal Hardway, and Private White. To the south of us is Private Soderling. Private Severson actually lives where I used to live for 8 years up in Bellingham. In fact, he goes to the same high school I went to for a year and 3 months.
It's very strange, honestly, knowing I go to the same high school as him. I did not even know it.
Okay, hopefully I don't look too weird talking like this.
Oh, I can't wait to see this show up in the stream.
Okay. Hopefully this works.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine through the call now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then the rest of us kind of live on the west side of the state, Wade. First Sergeant Kep and Private Turnin live relatively near each other. And then I think our farthest south is like the Vancouver, Washington area. So.
Yeah.
And
I'm the only person that lives like northern Washington.
Yeah, and Dean, I'll be sure to email you the information on that one for you.
And yeah, I couldn't agree more. Civil War reenacting is pretty awesome. I've enjoyed it for better part of 4 years, 3 to 4 years now.
Yeah, you joined us in 2015, so you're going into your 4th year.
Yeah, because I can just relevate it to my year in high school now.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, man.
Yeah, like you guys have seen me come into adulthood now.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I mean, I'm terrified of being an adult. Fuck you think is terrifying. How far east do we travel?
First Sergeant Kep and I, we've gone to Gettysburg. And that's about it. How far south, Dean? I think Severson's interested. I think Private Turnin's interested in that California event at some point. So
yeah, the Vista event.
Have to try and put something together for that.
I'm definitely really interested in that California event, mostly because it's nice to experience what other states have for reenacting and like. As I believe, I'm not sure quite if we're gonna start doing it, but it might be nice to start doing some Oregon events. I'm not sure what your ideas and thoughts are on that, Captain.
I'm still waiting. I'm still testing the waters on going back down to Oregon. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. And maybe some point Ohio. I think you guys have the Hale Farm, if I remember the name right, in Ohio. Where are you from? If it's 1:44 in the morning where you're at, that's insane.
What are you, Russian?
I mean, could be.
Yeah. Definitely somewhere in Europe.
I think that is the best phrase I've ever seen. Growing older is mandatory. Growing up is optional.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a little bit of both. Definitely not all there, though.
Oh, the UK. Very nice.
Yeah. Really?
Okay, so they don't do Hill. Okay, so they still do. Very nice, very nice.
It'd be nice to go back to the Midwest. It has been some time for me.
Yeah, since you're originally from Michigan, so.
Yeah. I didn't go to Ohio all that much. Only a handful of times.
Excuse me.
But I am pretty partial to anything Midwest-wise.
So Zor or Hail? Who knows, we might have to make a trip out one of these times. Jamie, when are those events usually around? Date, time-wise, I guess.
Isn't there a pretty good is it in Pennsylvania that they have that really good World War I reenactment?
Yeah, the Newville reenactment. I need to get out there and do that one.
We both know we're wearing pickle helms.
Okay, so August. Maybe we might be able to swing that.
Yeah. I think it's possible for the future of reenacting to be in the campaigner side. Definitely, as I've grown up and learned more and try to be campaigner, as we get more. I got Genesis and on this. Anyways, as people are getting more educated, there's definitely being a shift to the campaigner lifestyle. But I think to a degree there is some snobby, or there is some people that are very snobbish about being a campaigner. But nothing against them, of course. But I think it can push people away.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's why I think Ethan's right when he says we're more of a progressive unit rather than a campaigner unit. Because we don't just, brush people aside if they're just mainstream. We try to educate, but if they don't want to learn, they don't want to learn. I'm sure you have some thoughts on reenacting becoming more of a campaigner style.
Oh yeah, no, I've already shared those thoughts on here, so I'm not gonna.
That's true.
Be a broken record for everyone. Hopefully we'll
Yeah.
have that go through.
That is true.
Oh yeah, Sarson's a huge Star Wars nut, Lego maker. So
Just give me a hot second. Give me a hot minute.
I don't know what did you guys start? 6 guards. There's been a couple to try and do a Confederate sharpshooter impression. However, there's no real Confederate sharpshooter unit here yet in Washington, but we will see. Desert.
I can't.
The closest to desert, I guess, if you want to call it that, is Eastern Washington, since we're a high arid desert, so scrub brush and the like.
Yeah. So.
Jared, I'm with you on this one. Oh, great. He's breaking out his movies.
You can say I'm a little bit of a Star Wars nerd. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. we have encountered
Is that
some
working
CSA
better for
sharpshooters.
volume? I just adjusted it a little bit.
I'm not sure if you want to speak their names.
To what are you talking about?
A CSA sharpshooter unit.
Oh, we're good. We're good. We don't need to mention names or anything yet.
Yeah. Might want to turn yourself up a little bit if possible.
Yeah, I just turned the mic up. Okay, good. So we're better. Cool. Excellent, excellent.
Great.
So I guess my question would be, no, Dean, nothing like a Nevada desert. So I guess my question for Severson during this whole thing is, like, what more do you want to see out of Company D? Like, out of us as a unit as a whole?
I mean, there's not all that much more that I'd like to see. That is a good question. I guess, I don't know, more like winter events or trainings, things of that nature. No, getting together more than just during the regular season.
Makes sense.
Because, families gotta stick together.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm gonna grab some water, so Severson, you entertain the chat for a bit, which I may regret this decision. First Sergeant, please try to keep him in line.
I'll try. I make no promises. So, what are your burning secrets? What are your burning desires? What questions do you have for me? No, this is where the fun begins. Hopefully. What rations do I carry? I do a lot of food making on site. I am pretty farby about my food, mostly just because I'm a pretty big guy. You gotta keep this body going, and I just couldn't live off of what they lived off of. So I eat a mix of things. I like to make a good burger at an event, but I have been trying a lot of pre-making. So I've pre-made burgers, I've pre-made pasta. I do love that. What is it? I do love that for our frosted hardtack and apple juice. Like, we were going up on a march and we were stopping at a restaurant. You're damn sure I got some apple juice. If I was given $5,000, I would probably, for sure, I would pick up a rifle. I would, welcome back, Captain.
Oh, hello.
I would probably get, I would get full Hainsworth uniform, a set of blues, yes, I do bring hamburger buns, I bring cheese, I bring patties, I bring the whole shebang.
You and your Farby dinners.
Hey, you enjoy my Farby dinners too.
From time to time.
I as much researching and reading for the USSS as the first sergeant and the captain do. something I could work on, obviously.
You do fairly
what was
well.
that?
You do fairly well.
Yeah, I do know a lot, mostly through everything that First Sergeant and Captain and everybody else is always sharing.
Yeah, and First Sergeant just made a good point. A rifle, Severson. A rifle.
I did say that was the first thing I would pick up.
Good.
Um,
And yeah, with Severson and his apple juice, I'm gonna pull this back just real quick. Earlier I was saying how he's our most memeable person in the company, and hopefully this shows up all right. But because this guy here was known for bringing a block of cheese as his only thing to eat for an entire event, and wondered why he felt like absolute garbage.
okay, I did not bring only a brick of cheese. I did bring sausage and bread, but the block of cheese was in there.
That's true. This is true, but still was funny. So we always got to give him a hard time about his cheese and his apple juice.
Oh yeah. And I am definitely learning more about Quartermaster paperwork, seeing as that is now my official role in the unit. As for Admiral Purple Hair, no, I don't think she did get a safe funeral in the movie, at least. But no, it happened pretty quickly, and I guess it's just very much an oversight on the part of directors and producers and writers and everything. And yes, Fort Stevens, just us. I used to bring a little can of Spam to cook or just eat raw. So First Sergeant was like, "Hey Severson, you wanna cook your Spam?" I was like, "Yeah." Just hands me a shovel. I'm like, "Okay." So I just cut up the Spam, put it on the shovel, just hold it over the fire. I'm just like, this is fine. This is fine. You know, just cooking some Spam on a shovel. I got the most hardcore award for that. I would give up cheese. I love bacon just a little too much to give up cheese. As for my love of history, my dad and my mom did used to play a lot of the History Channel. So I'd always be watching stuff like that, or I remember in the little town I used to live in, Michigan, they had this library. You would walk in, go all the way.
Sorry, guys, I had to.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll add more throughout the chat as we go, so don't you guys worry. Yep, that's true. Jared made a good point. You didn't ask if the shovel was clean until you were done eating. It was just an after say, like, oh wait, was this clean?
Well, no, I was more like as I started cooking, I was like, this is clean, right? You know, this hasn't been any dog shit.
That's why you are a goober, and we love you for it.
Yeah. You gotta have some fun at least once in a while.
Oh, of course.
Anyways, so you go all the way to the back of this library, really small library. Hang a right, go all the way back to the back right corner, and on the bottom row and the second row, there would be all these great history books that I would just take it, and check it out, and I'd try and read it. And it was always about what's the word? Always about World War II. So I just really love learning about World War II. And as such, I have wanted to join the Marines for as long as I can pretty much remember.
Where'd it go? No, hoe cakes, yeah. Hoe cakes are amazing, indeed.
You know, I really want to try a good old Civil War funnel cake. That's what I've been meaning to try.
I will smack you in the face.
With what? Your hand, your sword, your other sword? The metal one?
I will smack you with a tree. Just a full-size tree right to the face.
I mean, hey, maybe it'll knock some sense into me.
You're getting there, man. You're getting there. So,
Genesis has been
any
messaging me.
other questions? Because you guys have been asking some good ones. Some real good head scratchers.
So I was just asked the question, do you like crayons? The answer, yes. Red is my favorite flavor.
We're all crayon eaters in some way.
But hey, we can't all be glue sniffers. That's a very special part of the Marine Corps.
Is there a different type of unit that we would be interested in? What about you, Cyberson? Because I already know mine.
I would really love to be. I really. Sorry, I'm just gonna search this designation real quick. You know,
Okay.
make sure I'm getting it right.
So Indy for mine. While Cyberson looks this up. For me, a different type of unit that I would be interested in doing would actually be the 2nd Massachusetts Cavalry. I had family that fought in that unit, and it's something completely different. Excuse me, than infantry. So that would be something that would kind of draw to me. Also, like the history of the 5th New York Zouaves. You know, Zouaves definitely had a very hard-fighting reputation, so to speak, and I mean, red MC Hammer style pants. Come on, those are awesome.
The unit I would like to be a part of is the 54th Massachusetts. You know, just so I can be an officer. Just
yeah, I was about to say, okay. Do we have any Navy impressions? Yes, we actually have the USS Tahoma Shore Battery, which is artillery, and we also have the USS Tahoma Marines.
In all seriousness, I would like to put on a good 24th Michigan impression.
Wade, for shirts, Wamba Wine Company, for civilian and federal issue. Favorite WCWA event?
For me, I had to say, I really like Chehalis. You know, impartial to that. It was my first event, but either way, it's not a baseball field or
Football field.
Football field, so it's something nice.
For me, would definitely have to be Chehalis or the event here in Spokane, which the site just changed, so technically the old Spokane site. But if we want to talk about WCWA events in the past, Port Gamble, by far, was my all-time favorite event. I miss that event dearly. Oh, hey, what's going on, Aiden? There's a couple that are trying to start a Confederate sharpshooter unit. However, with one of them going to be joining the military here soon, I'm not sure if it'll actually be a full-scale unit or not. So
Yeah. But I mean, hey, he really took the dedication to getting into the military.
yeah, he actually had to have a testicle removed to join the military. So he literally gave a nut to join the military.
Quite literally. I'll for as much backstory to them as there is, I will give him a hand for that dedication.
Yeah, that is some hardcore stuff.
So, Genesis, want to know, is your favorite flavor of crayon blueberry?
My favorite crayon flavor has to be Orange Sunset. That's a really good crayon flavor. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like this is
Your favorite color is
my
orange?
keyboard's orange. This is
No.
orange.
No.
It's not a pattern or anything. It's not like it's my favorite color.
Yeah, definitely not. I wouldn't say it's a very common impression.
No, it's a very seldom done impression, and when it is done, it's done typically very poorly. Everyone thinks, you know, the sharpshooters in the Civil War, all of them had scopes, when that really wasn't true. And even the Whitworth rifles that were issued, very few of the few Whitworths that were issued actually had scopes. So just one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
Indy, yes, I actually have done some parades here in Spokane. It's called our Lilac Parade. It's kind of our city flower is the lilac, so we have this huge lilac festival, everything like that. I've done the parade here in town for that a few times, but I think that's about the only one besides one parade that we hold in Yakima, Washington, which is during an event kind of to promote, hey, come watch the reenactment, come see the Old Town days kind of thing, which is always interesting. Actually, you know what? I have figured it out, the biggest farb I have ever seen. I just remembered it thanks to Yakima. So, it's during a town festival. So, we're at an agriculture museum. And they have kind of like a little kids area, you know, the bouncy castle, the beer garden, food vendors, and they have a stage with, you know, live music or music off the radio. So nothing says the Civil War battlefield like laying there dead in tall grass and you hear Katy Perry's Firework just blaring over the battle going on. And then everyone else who's laying dead in the grass joining in on the songs. It's wonderful.
That's pretty amazing.
And no, none of us in Company D ever joined in on that, ever.
Hey, thanks for joining in, Sir Promov.
Oh yeah, well you have a good 1/6 guard, and yes, there will be more live streams in the future. Probably going to be doing this bi-weekly, so every other week. So if I can turn around.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys like having me on, I'm
October.
more than happy to come on again. Keep the captain a little bit of company. Hopefully, I don't get work thrown in the mix again.
It happens.
Yeah. I make money.
Oh yeah. Money is what makes this hobby work.
Yeah. Yeah. I know all about that.
Future YouTube request. First Sergeant announcing the opening of his woodworking shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need First Sergeant Ron Swanson.
Ooh, a School of the Soldier video idea. You know what? I'm gonna be writing these down as you guys flood our chat with video ideas, because you guys have given us some very good ones, both in the comments of our videos and in the on our past live streams. So.
Sorry. Genesis from Confederate Battalion just keeps messaging me, and all of them are hilarious. I'll have to show you some of this stuff later. I mean, I'm not sure if he means not too many units teach it in an actual event or anything like that, which I definitely agree. I mean, we have our School of the Soldier event here in Washington, which is just like see old friends, get caught up, that sort of thing. Do a little bit of drill, maybe.
Thanks, Dean, for a future idea. That's something I've been playing around with. So keep your eyes out for that to be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a lot of in-house stuff we're starting to work on, so it could be a nice way to make money for other things.
Oh god, yeah. If you want to run the chat real quick, I just gotta look at something.
Ooh, some billion videos. That would be very cool to see. Yeah, that could be really interesting because, what was it? 2 years ago?
What's up?
We did our enlistment papers.
Yes. God, that was 2 years ago already.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Isn't it time for us to re-up?
Yep. Yeah, we should be signing our re-enlistment papers here before too long.
Yeah. Don't we have a blacksmith? As part of the WCWA with the
we did.
civilian impressions.
We did. I'm not sure if he's still around. I know one of the sutlers did metalworking, but I know like what First Sergeant Kep was just saying. He has built a forge, so we can do some light work. You know, tent stakes, and holders, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Any other burning desires, questions? Ooh. Yeah, I definitely agree. I did like seeing Jared at all the at battle sites. I think it would be really cool for if we potentially go out west or east, forgive me. You know, doing some videos on where the sharpshooters were or stuff like that. I personally have been petitioning within the unit to do I would like to start petitioning for us to start doing like history of battles, potentially history of sharpshooters in certain battles, stuff like that. I think I've mentioned it like once or twice within the unit. So, who knows? Potential future videos. We'll have to see.
Oh god, yeah. And Tyler, to answer your question, I believe there was some issue. 10 stakes. Oh, First Sergeant Kep just answered, so never mind. We're all good. Dean, I've actually thought about doing kind of a vlog going to and from events, especially like our cross-state events. So, like with me with Private Cook and Corporal Hardway traveling cross-state, you know, just little, you know, 2-3 minutes on the road, kind of our antics, because we like to sing just random songs while we're driving around. You know, we just like to have a lot of fun on our drive, so I'd definitely be vlogging those, and definitely, like what First Sergeant Kep said, if we do our April trip, yeah, our phone batteries will probably be used up more by taking pictures and vlogging than we will anything else, because that trip is going to be pretty damn cool.
You guys are thinking about going to Gettysburg in April, right?
Nope, you'll find out. Don't worry.
Fuck. I'm gonna have to just wait and see, aren't I?
Yep.
Is it a company trip? Question mark.
If I could afford to haul all you guys around, sure, but
No, we don't. We all just pitch in and rent a little RV.
maybe. Jamie, I will definitely keep that in mind. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Well, you have tons of pictures on lots of rare stuff, Jared, so...
Jared's house is part workshop, part museum.
It really is. I mean, I am very happy with the free admission fee to that amazing museum.
It was quite a gallery.
It was quite an esteemed gathering, I must say. The art pieces were exquisite. And the banister, many great artifacts. Oh. We've gone through chat.
Damn, very nice.
Yeah.
That is not a cheap impression. Unless you know where to look.
Yeah. Or you're first sergeant and you're a eBay master. I'm surprised they let you take that through customs. No, we sadly have to use them good old Santa cans.
If the WCWA would allow us to dig a hole, or to actually dig a latrine trench, I would do it. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean...
Everyone's got to use the bathroom at some point, you know?
Yeah.
Modesty
Granted, I
rules
don't think the property owners would be too happy with that.
It's free fertilizer. Look at it that way.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty true. Let's see here.
Really, it was the foreign dirt that might have not let you bring those in.
Wow.
Wait, for lanterns, anything with a candle.
I personally have this amazing lantern made by our first sergeant. It's really nicely made. I was really happy with how it turned out.
Sure, why not? I'd use a corn cob for TP. Why not?
I mean, if you gotta wipe, you gotta wipe. God, there's just gonna be all these long pauses. We're like waiting for chat to come up.
Viewers gotta type and all that stuff, so it's all good.
Plus, they gotta react to what we're saying.
Oh
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Severson, don't you break that glass.
Hey, it's me.
Yeah, Mullen is... I've actually out hunting in the Scablands here in Central Washington. I have used Mullen as TP, and yeah, it's perfect for wipe. Be the first to admit, it's soft too.
I mean, CNC Sutlery? I don't think I've heard of them.
I believe they're out of Idaho? Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I personally can't say anything, as I have not seen any of their gear, to my knowledge, so...
And,
most of the unit is Masons.
Yeah, Indy, First Sergeant Kep, myself, and, Private Soderling are all brothers, so...
I'm possibly becoming a brother.
What, a year? When you turn 18?
Yeah.
Sweet!
I mean, my grandpa was a Mason.
Nice.
On my mom's side, before he passed away, so... why not?
Jamie, I will keep that in mind for the Mullen, too, for the women folk issues. But,
plus, I mean...
going back to CNC Sutlery, Tyler J. Yeah, I've seen some of their stuff, now that I think about it, from some new reenactors coming into the hobby in the past, and it's not the best quality, it just falls apart too easily. It's very run-of-the-mill, kind of Pakistan-made stuff. You know, for me, I always suggest, like, for uniforms, you know, whether you do, Confederate or Federal impressions, you know, Wamba White & Company, they do kits. They're fairly inexpensive if you do a kit, you know someone who sews. And,
so I got,
they're pretty nice. Pretty nice kits. And Dan and Brian are awesome guys to work with. Yep, there's one of my my pieces of work.
Keeps me warm at night. Like now.
Good.
I was originally gonna come on wearing this, but things happen.
Nice, yeah, Tyler. Well, Tyler J, since we have Tyler Severson on, so I should figure this out, or, you know, not figure it out, but...
yeah.
address people better. Yeah, Wamba, I'm glad you like Wamba. They make some really good stuff.
They really do. I personally, Recommend Fall or Milk Creek celery if you're going for kind of mainstream.
Higher end of mainstream, yeah.
Because they make it really affordable, and she does a pretty good job of making gear, to be honest.
Hey, what's going on, Matt?
Matt? So I do recommend them. They are Farby, but her trousers in green that they use for sharpshooter gear is actually you can definitely pass it as Hainsworth.
Yeah, like
at
a
least in
lighter shade of
coloring.
Hainsworth.
Yeah.
Best cravat and braces for the money, Jamie. There's some pretty good cravats from the Sutler of Fort Scott. I like theirs. I have their black silk cravat. Comes in a nice, like, period correct cardboard box. And braces or suspenders, for those who don't know what we're talking about with braces. Yes, that is actually the correct term for suspenders. Again, I gotta go with Wamba White & Company. I have a pair of their braces on my my trousers. I absolutely love those things. Those things are fantastic. Alright, Dean, you have a good one? And, yeah, let's chat more about, California. That'd be
Yeah, for sure.
a lot of fun, so.
If I can make it,
man.
I'll definitely go. You know what?
Cool, yeah, you and I were on the same... Alright. Can't be upscaled. Or upstaged.
Uh-huh.
That's why I suggest getting a haircut.
Maybe.
Alright. Oh, Jarnigan? Yeah. Jarnigan's got some good stuff, too. I'm so particular about my hat. My cover, sorry.
Oh, wow. Get a new forge cap or something?
Oh, no. Same one I've had forever.
Oh, that's right. I remember now.
It's just clean.
Yeah, it's not filled with dust and dirt.
It's actually nice and... Oh, please, before it was even dusty, it was still dirty.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, Jared, you have a good one. I'll be texting you about some stuff here after our chat, so...
Well, what's a really dirty shovel? But I should have been a little safer. But see you later, KP.
And Indy, very nice. Very, very nice. Jamie, check out Orchard Hill Cutlery. They have some absolutely fantastic pocket knives. They got, you know, your like $12 like sod buster ones, and then they got some really nice like $55 German-made knives. They're really cool.
Very nice. Do you know what manufacturer made your sharps?
Yeah, Matt, I'm glad you actually got to go to that event that you were talking about with me over Facebook chat. That's really awesome.
Right.
You and I need to chat about that, because with the right kind of tweaking, I can get you more than 25 shots before having to clean out your block.
Yeah. Better slowly.
Yeah, Jamie, not a problem.
I think it's starting to get about that time where we, gotta start wrapping this up.
Oh yeah, because you got hockey practice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd love to stay on and everything, but people are checking out, and it's like, it is getting late.
Yeah, I'll probably stay on for another 15 minutes for everyone in the chat. But yeah, Severson has a hockey practice, so he's going to be heading off here.
Yeah. I could probably stay on another 15.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I am only going to the Sportsplex, so...
Oh yeah, that's not too far from where you live, man.
Yeah, especially if I use the highway, so...
Oh god, yeah. And yeah, Indy is very right. Setup is everything with the sharps. You gotta have your block drilled out just right. You gotta have the right lubricant. Oh yeah, those things are a lot of fun to... 110 rounds in 3 hours isn't bad.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fairly decent.
I'm still impressed by Ryder.
Yeah, he still can't beat my record. Yeah, my record in the company when I was still on the line was 106, 107 in less than 1 hour. I was cruising through. In fact, I still kind of have a nice kind of a burn scar right through here on my hand from it. And, Severson got a question.
Yeah, I play literally every position. I've been in it so long. I know every position. I started playing when I was 4, and I'm 16 now. So about the better half of 12 years of my life.
Yeah, in fact, weren't you goalie last night?
Yeah, I was a goalie in a little scrimmage we had with the lower level team just below us. I like to play forward predominantly, but I can hop back into D, and in really dire times, I can definitely take over at center. But center's not my strong suit.
Yep, Matt, I've seen people do that too with the sharps. It's sad. I think I've done it once or twice when my block completely seized. Yeah, that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Royal pain in the ass. I tell you what.
And it is a great sport. I was really sad just a couple days ago. I'm a huge fan of the Red Wings, as Ethan can say and attest to. In fact, I got something for everything. I swear to God.
Red Wings.
Because I'm a little far.
Burn that hat.
No.
Burn it.
No. I will be a Wings fan till the day I die. But anyways, I was really sad hearing Zetterberg retired as captain and from playing professional hockey, seeing as he was captain of the Red Wings for such a long time. See you around, Matt. Thanks for hopping in, and I'll keep wearing my Red Wings hat.
You got a question from Jamie, though.
Yeah, I saw. I don't have much advice. I'd say, ooh, that's no good.
Probably because of your hat.
More than likely, but you know what? I love it. She's my baby. Anyways, as for advice, just learn as much as you can. Don't forget the canteen. That's number one. Always have your canteen. No matter what, even if you don't think it's hot enough, you will go down with heat stroke if you're not drinking enough. Just soak up as much as you can.
Yeah, Jamie, the other advice too that I can suggest for your nephew is just always work hard and always try to do better from the last event to the next event to the next event to the next season.
Uh,
That's what I did. That's what I've helped Severson do. That's what I helped Private Turnin do. It's just always strive to do better. I guess that's my
yeah,
biggest one for you, Jamie, to tell your nephew. You tell him to stay in the hobby too. We need more younger people in, because
yeah. It's definitely a rather aging hobby,
yeah,
in my opinion.
the children are the
And
future.
that's
Nice.
good. It'll teach them the importance of canteens.
Yes, canteens are very important.
Just
Impertinent.
um, but I only really know about a handful or two of people kind of my age here in the WCWA. So it's a little sad in my opinion, not seeing younger people coming out and joining us, but that's what it is.
Wait, for tent poles, for like our um, for like our A tents, wall tents, we do use cut lumber. However, for dog tents, we use just cut poles from like maples, alders, stuff like that. You know what's going on, Jesse?
Yeah, we still live, surprisingly.
He means live.
Oh, still, a little surprisingly.
Yeah, but we'll probably be getting off here in about 8 minutes, Jesse. So
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be able to find what you're trying to hit with a cannon. Just
this is
saying.
true. Yep, A1 steak sauce, established in 1862.
Mm-hmm. Just what the country needed at the time. A steak sauce. Granted, knowing the 1800s, it was probably something that wasn't a steak sauce. Or meant to be used as steak sauce.
Jamie, that's awesome. That's cool that your whole family got into it because of your nephew. Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
Jesse, this is Private Severson. He's one of the sharpshooters at Company D.
Nice to meet you, Jesse. I've been reenacting for about 4 years now, so you'll probably see me in quite a few videos. Datsug. Zetterberg and Datsug were both very huge inspirations in my life as a hockey player. It was a sad day when he retired as well, in my opinion, but they've been doing it for years now.
Oh, hot sauces? I'm sure there was hot sauces around.
Probably. I mean, there was no Tabasco, but they may do probably. I mean, possibly. I'll let Captain talk about that. I'm not gonna.
It's in his future. He's definitely come a long way in 4 years. So I think one of the best ones was when he actually scared the hell out of one of our corporals because our corporal got tunnel vision and was focused too much to the front. And, Private Severson here just looks over, sees what's about to happen, and just refuse the fucking flank. We're like, look, our little baby's growing up. But
Well,
definitely in the future, promotion's definitely coming down the road. He keeps joking, oh yeah, when I'm captain of the sharpshooters, I'll be telling you what to do. It's like, time you're captain of the sharpshooters, I'll be general of the army.
yeah. I swear Ethan's gonna be telling me what to do to the day I die. I've definitely tried to improve, and love Colt, but he was really tunnel vision, and he did used to wear earplugs,
I mean,
like
everyone gets
cotton
tunnel
earplugs.
vision at some point. It's just something that happens.
Yeah. I was just like, Colt, please, Captain Shine at you, please, Colt. Fuck it, I'll do it myself.
Corporal, please pay attention. Corporal, please pay attention. Okay, my time to shine. Yeah, Jamie, I did actually know that, oddly enough, about cayenne pepper. It's just one of those weird little things.
Interesting.
Jesse, I've told you this before. I like to vigorously beat my privates and then my men.
Typically, he'll like call one of us into his tent at night, but
They walk out, they got whip marks on their back, on their feet.
he really likes to go at the feet for whatever reason.
Matt, yeah, from time to time we do. Just depends how close we are to them.
Yeah.
Depends on the level of harassment that we give the rebs. But they do it back to us too. I mean, because we have friends, on either side of the battalion. So, we got a lot of Union friends, we got a lot of Confederate friends. So if we're up against, our Confederate friends, oh yeah, it gets real bad.
Oh yeah. As for the language, you could always work on it. I'm too much. I'm a little bit of a sailor. And there is much love in this unit. No, every event we gotta give each other just at least one hug.
Yeah.
As for Reblar, not sure what that is. You?
Is there Reblar on the West Coast too?
Like Revolutionary War, or?
If you're talking about Rev War Indy, yes, there's actually a small contingent here in Washington, and I believe down in California as well.
Yeah, I think so. Because I know they do events at what was it? They do them in the San Juans.
Yep. Yeah, on San Juan Island.
Yeah.
When am I going to rock a kill? One of these days. One of these days. Alright, Wade, you have a good one, and hopefully see you on the next chat.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. I mean, I swear I want to see you and McKnight both rocking kilts someday.
It'll happen.
I really hope. Oh, Rebel. We see it all the time.
Oh, Rebel Kevlar? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen it plenty of times. There was one unit that did Wheats Tigers here, and we called them the Cast Iron Kitties because they never, ever, ever died or even took a hit.
And I was really angry at Snoqualmie this year, one of our last event of the year. There was nothing from the Confederates, and I was angry.
Yeah, you were a little heated. Yeah, it was Chehalis this year, I remember that.
Oh, yeah, Chehalis, not Snoqualmie.
And yes, Jesse, I did. So, hopefully that should be a painting here soon. Hey, can't knock the iron underwear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we should probably...
I mean, last battle...
Yeah, it was the last
battle
at Chehalis. But we should
yeah,
probably...
last battle Chehalis was pretty good.
Wrap up our live stream here, because you got hockey practice. I gotta eat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I might have to do the same, but we'll see how it goes.
yeah, definitely. But no, this is a lot of fun having Tyler on, chatting with all you guys.
Ooh, you
The
actually call me
next
by my
stream
first
that
name for
I'm
once.
hoping to do, if it doesn't cut into deer season at all, because I do these on my days off. Obviously, my days off, I want to, you know, go up and try and get me a deer or some grouse at least. But
Yeah.
we'll try to have the next scheduled stream, hopefully either the 3rd or 4th of October. So keep your guys' eyes out, and we will see you guys all in 2 weeks' time. So
Yeah,
you
of course.
guys stay safe, have fun. You guys got reenactments, definitely have fun with that. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next live stream.
See you guys in the next live stream.
Have a good one, everyone.